Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Ben Pilati with High Octane Trades, and I'm here with my co-pilot Vela, and we're here connected to the Nasdaq Futures, and we're going to trade the rest of the afternoon session. Give me just a second while I get everything set up here. Okay, it looks like Nasdaq Nasdaq has been selling off. Hey, Vela, good afternoon. How are you doing? That's good to hear. So let's look at the Nasdaq minis and tell me what you see here. What do we have going on? Are we looking bullish or bearish here? All right. Well, sorry everyone. We're actually looking at the micro Nasdaq. Um, there's a little bit of a bug in Vela, and so we're not looking at gold. We are looking at the Nasdaq, and the analysis is being done on the Nasdaq. So just to clear up any confusion here. So we see the Nasdaq bounced on the 200 moving average after this run down. It had a big run up this morning and just consolidated the rest of the afternoon. So at this point, so we're at 25,009. I'm neither long or short at this point. And looking at the 10-minute, um, we're kind of in a no trade zone here. So what we're looking at here on the chart and trading view, we're looking at market GPS, and just from the top to the bottom, these V's, red and green V's, are basically real time high volume signals. So if there's high sell volume coming in, we're going to see a red V. If there's high buy volume, we're going to see a green V. And these red lines above the price, these are support resistance lines that are calculated by one of the models here in Market GPS. And these bands that go below and above the candles, these are forecast bands. So anytime the bands are green and below the candles, the price generally goes up, and then when the bands are red and above the candles, the price generally goes down. The white line is 200 EMA, and this is on the 3-minute chart. These green lines are support lines. This yellow line is the point of control. And then moving down, we have, oh yes, we have the mountain here at the top. That is the what I call the gravity band. So generally, when the price is above the mountain, the price is in an upward trend. If it goes below the mountain, then it gets into a downward trend. And we've got here at the bottom, these candles are what I call trend candles. And this helps me identify local tops, local bottoms of the market. And this is the RSI mountain, which is the tiny mountain here at the bottom. Then at the bottom, we're looking at cumulative delta. Basically, it's the money flow coming into the market and leaving the market. So that's an overview of market GPS. These are different mathematical models that work as a single ecosystem. And my co pilot is Vela, and she is dissecting the market uh, tick by tick, contract by contract. So let's have her back on and have her tell us what she sees the market is doing. So we're currently in a no trade zone, according to Vela. And I would agree, the price is bouncing again off of the 200 EMA. Now we're just getting the price. It's starting to go below the 200 EMA, but still, I wouldn't take a trade around here. It could bounce around this EMA. So Vela, you think I should hold off on a short? Sorry, Vela, didn't hear you. Should I hold off on a short here? Well, I think we're getting that breakdown here. Yeah, so we're getting no trade zone entry, no trade zone notification here. So I'm not in the short. I'm just kind of sitting on the sidelines here. That's 56. Yeah, some buyers stepped in here at 56, and so I stayed out of this one. And I tell you, Vela is spot on with these notifications. So this yellow card here, that's right below the candle, that basically just means that the sellers are starting to wear out, and so we should start to see either some sideways action or maybe a pop up to the upside. So as a rule, I definitely don't hit a sell when there's a yellow card that comes on here. And the card's back on. Hey Vela, how's it looking? You think we should still stay on sidelines for this? All right, good call. Thanks, Vela. All right, so we're currently in a no trade zone here. The market really hasn't done much of anything. We had kind of a slow fall and really no big moves. We're towards the end of the day, towards the close to the close, and so I'm not expecting a whole lot to happen here. So we might have a short opportunity coming up. There's really not a lot going on right now. Currently on the sidelines, there's some buyers stepping in here. I've got cumulative deltas green. So we're getting this drop down here. I'm going to go with a short. So we're currently in a short, and I can see that uh, the delta is turning red, which is good for us. There we go. We got some momentum to the downside. Currently in profit. 96 in profit. 84. There's a little bit of volatility, but I think this short looks pretty good. Vela is showing up as being bearish here. So everything's lining up. What I'm going to do is drop my stop loss to reduce my risk here. Not going to drop it to my entry just yet. So what I'm going to do is put a few limit orders to take some profit. We're still red with the delta, so I'm not too concerned about this push up here yet. So I'm here looking for drop to around 880. Delta still red. So that means sellers are still in control here. All right, I'm going to drop my stop loss, reduce my risk on this trade. I think the bottom's about to fall out on this one. Nice drop here. Nice drop. Let's see if we can hit my my limit here. I'm gonna move my stop loss to take into to my entry. So I've locked in this trade. Impossible to lose here. All right, just took some profit, dropping my stop loss to secure more profit here. I'm gonna drop it even further. And if it comes back up and it knocks out my loss, that's okay. We've already taken profit on this trade. But if it can just, the bottom can fall out and it drops out, that's even better for us. Okay, bottom has fallen. Moving my stop loss down further. Bottom is still falling. Moving my stop loss here. I could get knocked out here. And that's okay. Okay. So excellent trade there. Excellent. So we're up $511 for the day. Well, thanks, Vela. That was excellent analysis. You just helped me win that short. So basically, what I want to do is here at Market GPS, let me turn off Vela for a second, is Market GPS is taking the executed volume from the order flow and it's painting a picture for us. Um, See how Nasdaq today just rounded out, came up, consolidated, came right back down. There wasn't any massive drops here. Um, we had the run up and then it came back down, and we had midday distribution. And so, what we want to do is stay out of the chop. So, midday, I don't trade. That's typically low volume. Um, but oftentimes we can get a reversal in the afternoon from what the morning did. And so um, there was chop coming down, definitely. I wouldn't have wanted to get caught up in this chop. And when the price gets close to the 200, that typically means that the price is going to chop around. But you can see once it broke the 200, we still waited for confirmation on that short, hit the short perfectly. And so, there's no guessing here. And that's what I teach my students is we don't do technical analysis. We don't draw lines all over the screen. We allow the program to do the analysis for us. And it's taking the transactions and painting it in a picture so that we can visually see what the market is doing. And so as long as I'm aligning the direction of market GPS and letting Vela guide me on my entries, we have solid entries here. And so very precise, very mechanical. And it's something that not a lot of people have these kind of tools to be able to do. Usually the professional trading desks, they have their quants. Um, but Vela's my quant here. And so you can have access to these tools. Just go to our website, highoctanetrades.ai, and we're building some really big things to help the retail trader. And the whole point of this is that for a long time the financial markets were designed for the elites, were designed for the big money, and in 2020 with the pandemic, Robinhood became a big thing, and a lot of trading apps um, were rolled out so that you and me can have easy access to the markets. Now, it's a two-edged sword here because if you don't know what you're doing, then you're 100% going to lose all of your money. And I tell my students and I tell people all the time that if you're just looking to trade the markets as a side gig, um, it's not going to work out for you because there's a lot of things involved that you need to know. And I don't invest my money in something that I don't have a good understanding about. And you shouldn't trade the market. Just shouldn't treat the markets like a side gig. And you know, we're very mechanical, but we can make mistakes as humans. And we're one mistake away from losing a trade. And so we focus on high win rates, precision entries, but also very conservative and aggressive risk management. You could see on that last trade that as soon as I had the opportunity in that trade, um, I moved my stop loss to my entry so that I secured the trade. And so as the price kept falling, I moved my stop, which is called a trailing stop. Now, there's programs that'll do it automatically for you. You can put the amount of ticks. I like to see it. I feel the rhythm of the market, and so I can see the delta either coming in or flowing out, and so that tells me a lot of times if there's momentum in the movement, and so I could see that there was big momentum, so I manually move my stop and basically secure profit all the way down. And so there's a lot of people that they'll jump in the trades, they won't even have a stop. And so that's just a gambling mentality. And one of our biggest enemies is time. And so I don't want to waste my time doing something where I'm gonna end up, giving the money back to the markets. Um, Definitely not saying that I win every trade. I don't, but I control the losers, and that's very important here. Um, so Nasdaq had a big run up this morning, and it had for most of the day it just consolidated sideways, and so it's really important to identify when the market's consolidating, and we can see that with market GPS. One of the things is that if you look from top to the bottom, and there's a color difference, basically something is red and then something else is green and then something is red. It means that there's a conflict of the data. And so anytime that there's a conflict of the data, which is basically, nobody's in control, none of the buyers, neither the sellers are in control. that typically means that the market's going to go sideways, especially when I have these trend candles at the top of the screen. So, for example, if the trend candles are at the top of the screen here and the forecast bands are red, which typically means that the price is going to go down, but our gravity band is green, it's telling me that this is sideways price action because nobody's in control. For the price to go up, there has to be buyers. For the price to go down, there's got to be sellers. And so when you have an equal amount of buyers and sellers, sideways, the market's going to go sideways. So let's turn Vela back on, see what she says, and see if there's another opportunity here on the Nasdaq. Hey Vela, what are you looking at right now? Okay, so we're on sidelines right now. So people ask, what strategy do I use? I say, well, you know, the strategy that I use is reading the order flow and the tape. That's about it. And I try not to overcomplicate things because you can definitely overcomplicate things real quickly. But price is going to go down, it's going to go up, or it's going to go sideways. So um, these lines on the screen, they're mathematically calculated. We've got a setup alert. It's not gold. We're trading the Nasdaq. Vela's just a little confused on the symbol. Yeah, so I don't trade any theories. I don't trade Wyckoff. I don't trade. There's half a dozen theories out there. We just look at the volume. We look at the delta that's coming in, and we see if there's a price that's being defended by a buyer or seller or not. Then we look and see if there's any aggressors, buyers or sellers that can push through that. We use our support and resistance, like I said, they're mathematically calculated by the program. So I'm not eyeing and visually trying to write, lines on the screen. And I don't buy or sell into any support or resistance. And the 200 EMA and the point of control, which is the yellow line, I would say that's like extra support or resistance, maybe support or resistance times two. So I'm never going to buy or sell into any support or resistance, no matter where it's at. Okay, so Vela is telling us that we're in a no trade zone. I would totally agree with that. We took that short, and it's amazing short. There's a positive delta coming in that could kind of defend this area. So we'll just have to wait and see. My trend candles here at the 3 minute, they're starting to get pretty low here. So that's another thing is I look at my trend candles to identify local tops and bottoms of the market. If you see here this hump here, which is today's price action, when these candles came up near the top, they kind of stayed up near the top and it topped out here. So 50% of trading, in my opinion, is knowing what the market is not going to do. So if I know the market is not going to keep going up by the information, I'm not going to prepare for going long. I'm either going to sit on the sidelines or I'm going to hit a short, depending on the confirmation. So right now we've got these trend candles on the 3 minute. They're starting to get near the bottom here. And then if I look at the 10 minute, let's see where they're at. The 10 minute, definitely they topped out. They're kind of in the middle of the range here, which is a no trade zone for me. I don't want to chase the movement. Reason why I don't chase is because on the way down, you can have these dead cat bounces, and buyers are coming in just for a little bit to get slapped down by more sellers. And I don't want to get caught in that. So, these trend candles on the 10 minutes telling me that a couple of things. We're here in the middle, which, we'd be chasing the price. And if you see here on the 10 minute, we've got support. We've got the 200 EMA, which is additional support. And we've got the yellow card, which is basically the sellers are kind of running out of gas here. So unless the aggressive buyers can come and knock it through this, we could be here in a consolidation for a little while. Um, just looking at the time here, we don't have a whole much longer in the day's session. So we'll just have to see what happens, but I don't see any trade opportunity here. So I'm going to turn Vela back on and see what she says. Hey, Vela, what are you seeing at this point? All right, so if the price comes back up here at 2490, could be another short opportunity. Not going to short down here. I want to wait for that bounce help to hit the short. So we're in a no trade zone, and that's what Vela is telling us in the dashboard. So I see the delta is coming in, but it's starting to flatten out. If you see at the bottom here, um, this is the delta, and we can see that there were some buyers coming in. Now it's flattening out to the zero line. So I want to see this thing drop down to see more sell volume coming in. But going back to the 10 minute, always be mindful of your higher time frames. It's Nasdaq. Like I said, I'm not gonna sell into resistance here. Going back to the 10 minute. See, it's trying to hanging around that 200. Nasdaq. Not much going on. I'm looking at the 1,000 tick chart, and let's have to see here. As a rule of thumb, if you're not sure where the price is going, don't jump into a trade. A lot of people lose trades because they make poor decisions off of bad information, or they have a trading plan that potentially works and they break their plan and let emotions get in the way. Revenge trading is a thing. I used to do it. I did it a lot. But if you're paying $70 for a prop account and you burn that account 4 times in a day, that adds up. Yeah, the delta is just swapping, positive, negative, positive, negative. So yeah, there's not anything that's giving me any information of what this price is going to do just yet. Okay, a lot of negative delta coming in right now. We got about 30 minutes before the algorithms kick in. So if we get this bounce to 24.9, that could be a decent short. So let's see where we're at on the 10-minute here. Yeah, we're just hanging it out right on this support in the 200. Nasdaq. Okay, so we're getting this push up here. Let's see what happens. You know, we can see the forecast bands here on the 3-minute. They're red, they're under the candle. We've got the trend candles here. You know, not quite to the floor. I want to see these trend candles honestly smaller. Like if you see this at the top here, they get real tiny and then they turn into like a plus sign here. That's really what I want to see for these trend candles here at the bottom. For some kind of decent, you know, reverse to the top here. So Vela's telling us no trade zone here. Or just kind of meandering around the 875. Okay, here's that push up I was talking about. Let's see what happens. Again, I am looking to short this thing. If we can get up to the 24.9. Let's get back to the 10-minute. I want to see what's happening there. So we bounced off the 200. Kind of bounced off this support here. That's why I don't short. Look at the multi-time frames. Don't just look at one time frame. Look at the 10-minute. I look at the 3-minute. There's no way I would have shorted down here. I shorted up here. So getting closer and closer to the 24.9. Vela, I'm looking at a short at 24.9. What do you think? Interesting. So it's me against Vela. All right. This makes the stakes interesting here. See, that cumulative delta really needs to come in, start pushing the price up for that to happen. I don't see it yet, but we'll see what happens. Price still sitting on that support. Okay, I see delta starting to come in. So we should see some volatility start to kick in. So 3:29 p.m. Eastern. So usually about 3:30 volatility starts to kick in. So we'll see what happens. Okay, the delta is back in the red. Okay, new 3-minute candle. Let's see what happens here. Delta's still in the red, so we need the buyers to come in and push this thing up if we want anything to happen here. Okay, so we have a move up coming. 895. $8.97, $9.01. Vela is bullish, so The question is, do I short this 9-0? That's the question. And if you remember what I said earlier, if you don't know what the price is going to do, don't jump in. So, gonna pay attention to Vela here. All right, Vela, talk to me. What are you seeing here? Okay, so what are your thoughts about a long? To be honest, I don't know if I would take a long here. Our gravity band is red. Things are falling over. The price is falling over on the 1,000 tick chart. So I want to see the delta coming in to support this move up, and I don't really see that yet. So I think I'm gonna stay on the sidelines for the moment. We'll wait for the next update from Vela to see what's happening here. And look at that trend candle here in the 3 minute. It got real tiny here. So I think Vela might be right. It's a good thing I didn't go for that short. Nasdaq. Sorry guys, that's a bug that Vela has. I'll try to fix that tonight. That was a decent long if I would have took it. Hey Vela, what are your thoughts on an entry for long? You remember earlier I was talking about conflicting signals. We have that gravity band is the mountain is red. We've got the RSI mountain is green. So I don't want to enter in when I've got these kind of conflicting signals. And that's the big thing. Just gotta be patient. But it's easy to be patient when the levels are clear and you can see the buyers and the sellers. If you don't have that information, that's really hard. Man, Vela was right on the spot with that long. At what point should we look for a long? So let's talk about this buy and sell signal that's on Market GPS. Um, these buy and sell signals are not so that you jump in a trade. These buy and sell signals come on when all the colors line up. So I use that, for example, I trade the gold session in the evening. I don't want to sit in front of my screens for hours. So when I get a buy or sell signal, I'll get it on my phone and take a quick look at the chart from my phone. And if it looks good, I'll come to the computer, get ready for a setup. But yeah, these signals are not signals to get into a trade. It's basically to potentially get ready for a trade. So Vela's back in a no trade zone, and the delta is just flipping positive and negative. So nobody's really in charge here. Yeah, so that's what I thought. Could be a dead cat bounce here. I always want to pay attention to the delta. The delta has been just flipping positive, negative. If I see more negative delta comes in and that stays consistent, that's pretty good conviction. The sellers are taking over here, but I don't see that yet. And again, we're to the close to the close, so if there's an opportunity to squeeze another trade in, I'll take it. But if not, I'm not gonna try to invent an entry. So it's really good to have these alerts because without the alerts, before I created the alerts, I would have a specific time frame when I was going to be in front of the computer. For example, the open 9:30 to 11:30, just be in front of the computer, and then the evening session 8 to 10. But now that I've got these alerts, I don't have to be strict to that schedule. Um, so obviously, when I don't want to trade, I'm going to disable the alerts, but this allows me to be a little bit more flexible than having a set schedule. But I recommend everybody that's learning get as much screen time as you can so that you're not guessing yourself of what things are on the screen. You don't want to try to get in any trades when that happens. So learn the system, get to a point where you can immediately identify what's happening, and that takes a screen time. After you've kind of mastered that, then you can be more flexible with your hours. I know people that are not making money trading, but they'll sit in front of the charts 12 hours a day, and that's just a horrible waste of time. If you're sitting and looking at these charts too long, you'll start to hallucinate. Start to You're going to lose your edge. You'll start to see things that don't exist, or you don't see things that are there on the chart. So I'm a big advocate about efficiency and being mentally efficient, being efficient with your time, but nothing can substitute the learning phase. Um, this was a big push up. Let me turn Vela back on and see what's happening here. Man, Vela was right. That was a nice long that I missed. 24,998. So maybe this thing will start to reverse near the 200. Be a decent short here. We'll see. Now, when I'm going for these shorts, or when I'm going for a long too, but the trend has been down, right, ever since the. So since about 1 p.m., the trend has been down. So I want to see what happens here at this 200. I was skittish getting into this buy, so I didn't get in. And down here at the bottom, Bella was telling me to get in. So we're bouncing up the 3 minute against the 200 EMA. Got about 4 minutes before the algos kick in. Yeah, this is a big move. And the Nasdaq will do that sometimes. See, Delta is in the negative here. So if I see some momentum down here, I might hit this short. But I got to pay attention to my other signals here. I can't have a bias of a direction. Um, and sometimes just got to check myself. Okay, what's market GPS telling me? Um, Forecast bands, they're not really curved yet. One minute to the algos. Okay, the 350 algo is about to kick in, so we'll start to get some volume coming in with the positions starting to get closed out. Price is hanging right around the 200 here, so I want to see a nice rejection from that. Oops. So 998.5, 8.5. So we're still in a no trade zone, so nothing for me to do here yet. If the price gets to 998.5, that could be a long, but we're not at a long here. Wow. Okay. Big move here. I want to see it get through this. We've got negative delta here. Let me flip to the 10-minute real quick. Man, I should have didn't pay attention. I should have took that long. That was an amazing long. I hate missing out on those. Okay, we're breaking it. Let me get along here. I'm gonna move my stop up. We're switching to positive delta here. That's what I want to see. We're back to negative delta. Still in the long here, about right at my entry. Really want to see this push up here for this to pan out. I've got my finger on the trigger here, so we're still in positive delta. Like to see more buyers step in here. Okay, let's buyers are coming in here. Let's see this thing. I want to see some juice in this thing, but no juice. Ah, Delta's in the red. There's no juice to support this move. Yep. Knocked me out there. No big deal. Up 287 on the day. Just took one trade. Well, there was two trades. I had that big win on the short. Had the big win on the short, and this one was just end of day junk is what it was. So trading the afternoon session, it's a hit or miss. Most of the liquidity is in the morning, and but overall we were 1-1. The winner was much bigger than the loser, and that's what counts. Vela was calling the buy down here, and it's just uh, for example, I traded gold that night, and gold moves very different. Every market has its own personality, and Nasdaq is just it's like a bucking horse, is what it is. So I get used to trading one symbol, and when I see something like this, typically in the gold markets, you don't get that kind of movement. So it's something to remember. If you're trading different symbols, it's good to understand their behavior. The Nasdaq is not an easy market to trade, to be honest with you. You've got to be, you know, pretty good. Reason why is typically the Nasdaq does have a lot of wicks. Um, and if you compare that with the Dow futures are much smoother, in my opinion, an easier market to trade. But there's no excuses. Um, this thing just rolled over, and there was no buyers to support this move to keep it moving up. And so, looking in the past here, the price went down and then just shot up this morning. And so the long was down here. Vela was calling it out. I didn't really have any conviction for that, so I stayed out. And my thesis was hit a short up here, but problem was I was running into the end of the day, so um, you don't have that kind of liquidity that you would have, for example, in the morning. But there you go. We're 1-1. 287 on the day, two trades. And so basically the key is keep your winners big as you can, keep your losers as small as you can. And the point is, we left the day in green, and that's what counts. Um, so my learning experience on this, I would say the only thing is that we were so close to the close that there just wasn't the volume supporting the move. So, you know, would I have taken this trade if it was early in the day in the morning? Would it have worked out? Yeah, maybe, maybe not, but it doesn't matter. The point is that we left the day in the green. That's what counts. You know, I don't regret second guessing Vela on this move up because we had such a big move down here. So again, you've got to listen to your intuitions as well. But as long as your risk management is there and you don't break it, um, then the end of the day, we left green, and that's what counts. And well, appreciate everybody joining. Go to highoctanetrades.ai. You'll find information on Market GPS. We're about to update our website with Vela, and basically, Vela is our AI trading co-pilot, and a lot of additional services that are going to be rolled out, and just an amazing tool. It's just absolutely amazing. I mean, there's just no way I would have. I mean, Market GPS on itself is an amazing tool, but to have this play by play telling us what buyers and sellers are doing like this, without having to read the tape is just amazing. But there's a few bugs that we've got to work out with Vela. She was analyzing the right market, but was calling the wrong name, and but that's some easy things to fix. And I'll be trading the gold session this evening. I don't think I'll be going live though, but uh, typically I trade gold in the evening, and I trade the Dow futures in the morning. But if you don't have Market GPS, you're really missing really good information. Uh, shouldn't be taking trades if you're guessing, and that's kind of my 2 cents here. But thanks everyone for joining, and until next time.